Hi, it's Dee from Inspired Health by Dee, and I'm really excited to be here today to chat with you about endometriosis and hope. I wanted to welcome my guest today, Ange Macdonald. I'm really excited that you're here today and that we get to have a chat.
I'm super excited, Dee. So thank you so much for the invitation to be on here and sharing my story.
Yeah, awesome. So I work with a lot of women with endo in both my PT business as well as my naturopath clinic, and I just see that there's so many women struggling. And also, I'm quite active in a lot of the social media groups for endo, period pain, women's health, and same thing. There's just so many women struggling in those groups. And whilst I think those groups are fantastic from a support perspective, I just find that there's not necessarily a strong message of hope that you can live a life with endo that is, when endo is managed, you can live a healthy, happy life with endo. And so I was thinking about, well, how could I provide hope back to the endo community? And I thought, well, why not interview women who have endo so they can share their message and also their message of hope, as well as things that they've done to help manage their own endo. So today, I'm looking forward to hearing your story. So did you want to start off by telling us a little bit about your endo journey?
Yeah, thank you so much, Dee. And such a great initiative that you're doing with this, by the way. I think it's muchly needed out there. And I wish something like this was out there when I was actually on my journey earlier. My endometriosis story probably started when I was 12, unbeknownst to me, really. I had my periods. They were very heavy, and then went to the doctor, and I was in a lot of pain as well at that age, a lot of pain. And went to the doctor, and at a very young age, they put me on the pill to mask any pain and any sort of symptoms around that. And I continued to be on the pill right through to my late 20s, actually. However, when I would skip my periods. I think this may be a common thing with females that are in pain and suffering. And so when I would come off the pill to allow myself to have a period in my teens and throughout my 20s, early 20s, it was horrendous. Mega pain, and really I had no real quality of life dealing with that. So the vast majority of the month was in pain and a lot of bleeding, and would seek some form of support from the professionals, the medical world, and I think my first exploratory was just an investigation to see if I had anything like endometriosis, and I couldn't see anything, and that was in my early 20s, actually. And you feel you bounce around, don't you? And that's how I felt. Like I really felt like I was being bounced around from doctor to expert, and not really no real solution for what I was going through, except for starting the pill and potentially skip your periods. And then it actually all unraveled when I actually came off the pill fully to start to try to have children, and that was in my late 20s. And what happened, like obviously the pain was there, very debilitating, and then I had a sore back as well. And it ended up that I went into hospital for surgery, and I had other growths that were happening within my body. It ended up to be a long word called non-functioning pheochromocytoma. But in that operation, they discovered endometriosis was on my liver. So that was my first actual diagnosis that I had endometriosis, and then so I had that surgery, and they referred me to a gynecologist, and really that gynecologist didn't really do. I didn't know the severity of my endometriosis at that point.
Was it never told, or was it just kind of downplayed?
Downplayed.
Oh.
Downplayed. Yeah. I actually remember waiting in the hospital, waiting to see the gynecologist, and long wait in the hospital, as they always are, and then went to see the gynecologist, and really there was no explanation on what to do or how to manage it or anything like that. It was just like literally down the pool.
Mm.
That was it, basically. And you feel very clueless as to how to manage it when you're dealing with it. So
yeah, and that's very common because, and I guess it partly comes from the fact that doctors really only have surgery and pharmaceuticals as tools in their toolbox. And so if you're not having surgery, they just say go on the pill. There's not really the talk about there being other options. And I mean, some of them are becoming much more aware and things, and they're collaborating with other practitioners and other modalities, but that's still a bit of a long road.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. And so there was actually, so that was the start of my awareness that the actual label endometriosis came into my sphere, really.
Yeah.
And then I had, I came off the pill again to try and just have children at that stage. And then what happened was a downhill slide of pain like I'd never experienced before. And it had actually been, the endo had moved into my bowel and had sealed my bowel up. And so I went to hospital. They literally cut me open to have a look, and they'd sew me back up and set me off to a specialist called, they actually didn't refer him initially. I asked for the best here in Brisbane, which was Dr. Michael Wynne-Williams. Here, and he's a Kiwi, so I'm a Kiwi originally, and he's from Christchurch, but I hear he's moved back to Auckland now, which is pretty.
They've got him now.
Yes, he is amazing. So and that was really. Then he worked with a bowel specialist to help remove a lot of my bowel. I had an ileostomy for a few months, a bowel bag, and then I had a full hysterectomy, and they reconnected my my bowel. So I was very grateful that I was able to have that reconnection and not have a bowel bag for life.
For life, yeah.
Yeah. So very, very grateful for that. So that was sort of the physical side of it, and I was very, very blessed and grateful to have Michael come into my world at that stage, because he said it was the worst endometriosis he'd ever seen. It just gone everywhere, liver, bowel, everywhere.
And you don't want to hear that title, specialist. Oh
no. So I mean, throughout that journey, from like being bounced around, knowing there was something wrong, the only thing the real thing they were doing for me at that stage was the pill, to then discovering it eating away at my body, but then discovering an amazing man that knew his stuff with the medical side. I felt very blessed with that. But out of that was, I also did realize that the way I was living life and my thoughts about myself, which were hugely positive through my life, I feel made a huge contribution to the severity of my endometriosis. So I wasn't really happy within myself. I wasn't probably very active going through my late teens and 20s. Lifestyle I was very social as opposed to, so I think all of that contributed to me with the severity of the endometriosis and potentially triggering it. So out of this, I mean, the severity was horrible. What I went through was horrible. However, I really feel it was a blessing that I went through, because it was a wake-up call that I needed to adjust my lifestyle, adjust my thinking, and I, from that point, promised myself to, go on another trajectory in my life, which was that I'm healthy. I exercise every day. I eat healthy. I meditate. I've worked on myself, my inside world, like never before. And I really believe that has helped me. So that all happened in my late 20s, early 30s. I'm now about to turn 46. And since my early 30s, I have had no health element. Like I have no pain.
Amazing.
No pain. I have, I live such a good quality of life. It is awesome, Dee.
And I love to hear that. That's why I wanted
Yeah.
to have you on, is to hear your story and for you to share your story, that you can live a healthy, happy life and thrive with endo, even if it is as severe as what you had.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know medically they say that endometriosis never goes away. I made a decision emotionally that I don't have it.
Yeah.
And I know that can rub some people, because I know that that's how we met.
Yes. I don't know if we'll go into that.
No. But certainly, it's definitely I think a decision that I've made, just to really commit to my health, and I feel, touch wood, it's I'm really happy and healthy with compared to the previous chapter that I had with endometriosis. So,
and it does rub people up the wrong way. I use the word thrive quite a lot, and it does rub people up the wrong way, because they think that you can't have endo and be pain-free, but you can, or you can definitely live a healthy, happy life. Is it easy? I don't know how you feel about it. Like, if you found the journey after your surgery easy. I know that for me, I'm 5 years post stage 4 endo removal, and I'm also pain-free. However, it's a challenge. It's a conscious effort all the time to choose healthy options. So same thing. It's all about my diet and my lifestyle and exercise, and I meditate and I journal. I do all those things. I do the inner work as well, and it's not smooth sailing. Like, that's a choice that I make. Is that how you feel about it as well?
Absolutely on your same page. Yeah, it is. It's actually just a commitment to your own self, and it's self-discipline with it. Because what's the alternative, right?
Well, that's exactly. I had that moment after my surgery too, where I thought, I don't want to. Well, not that I don't want to do this again, but because I know that I may have to have surgery again, but I want to push it out as much as I can, so that way, and I want to live it. I want to feel good. I don't want to feel like in pain and forever worrying about endo and all that. And so if there's things within my control, like nutrition and stress management and gut health and all those things, why wouldn't I do it? That's a no-brainer to me as well.
Yeah, because the consequences are not good of not doing those daily practices. The other alternative is just it could go down a slippery slope. Who knows?
Especially because it can get worse.
It definitely. Yeah, totally. Definitely. I think having support from professionals like yourself, Dee, with the journey of this. I wish I'd had someone like you in my life when I was going through all that major stuff, because I was really clueless, and I think that was a big learning for me, was that it's you actually, for me, I was seeking real solid wisdom from these doctors, which very skilled in their own right with what they do. But the other side of just being healthy, I was quite clueless, So having someone like you to have supported me through that journey would have been amazing. So, and now I know that it's the basics of that self-discipline of, what you put in your body, what you feed your mind, all really contributes to it.
And the energy the people and everything you have around you as well.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And you were so very lucky to have Dr. Wynne Williams as a surgeon. He's one of the best.
I feel so grateful for him. It's because he brought in the bowel specialist at the same time, and and you feel really. I felt, well, I can't speak for you, but anyone else out there, but for me, I felt really helpless, like where to go, what to do. So I, being surrounded by the best in their fields, it's something I would highly recommend people seek out. Because actually, when I had the surgery, it's actually happened in Amble because it was emergency surgery with my bowel, and they didn't know what to do with me. And I said, well, who do I see from here? And they referred me to someone. And I said, is this someone that you would see if you were in my situation? They said, no. I went, okay, well, who would you be seeing? And that's when I was referred to Muckle and Williams. So thank goodness I asked that question,
It's so common. Unfortunately, it's so common because often it's just a GP that refers, and so the GP just refers to the local gynecologist, and you can end up seeing a gyno that does the burning method rather than the cutting method of endo, and so the surgery relief after the surgery may only be a couple of months, whereas if you have excision surgery, which is the ones that are done, which is the method that is done by the advanced trained laparoscopic excision specialist, then you're much more likely to get longer term relief. And women just don't know that yet.
No, exactly. You don't know what you don't know, Dee.
I know. And hence the reason why I continue to say it and share the message and to help women so that they can get the right type of care and put like a management plan in place, like all the things that you've talked about, so that then it can be managed.
Absolutely. But there's definitely hope, isn't there, by being surrounded by good people.
Yeah.
And just having that commitment to your own healthy well-being. Yeah.
What's your main message of hope that you want to share with the endo community?
That it's possible to turn things around. Like, I literally felt like I was dying with it. Like, that's how I really felt, that pain and helplessness. So I really believe that if you can have a knowing that it's all going to be okay, seek out the best in the industry. Surround yourself with the likes of Dee and what she's doing. And yeah, absolutely. And be committed to your own self. Like, it's, I know, Dee, you mentioned it can be hard, but it's actually, I believe it's turning it around to being just having that consistency of that commitment that turns into a natural habit then on a daily basis. Yeah definitely.
All the small steps that add up.
There's actually a book that I would like to recommend around habits, which actually has helped me to integrate stuff. It's the Atomic Habit. Oh, you got that?
I'm reading it at the moment.
It's the best.
Yes, because that's exactly what it is. It's all the little habits that add up.
Yeah. So highly recommend that.
I do too.
Yeah.
So is there what do you wish that you knew earlier?
That that I did have endometriosis, that I had taken charge of my own health earlier and responsibility for my own health, and seeked out the experts in the field, and and the knowing. I wish I'd known earlier that it's very much an inside job on your own mindset and well-being. And also I discovered now the epigenetics, which I don't know whether which is actually just the influence of everything, the thoughts, the food, everything is a science. There's science behind it, and that I wish I'd discovered that earlier, which is actually everything to do with well-being, I believe.
And what is one thing you would like to say to a woman with endo that is struggling?
To look after yourself and just give yourself a little love and seek out be surrounded by great people. That especially a community like this that has an understanding of the disease and can support you in a great way. So
Yeah, because they say that you're influenced by the 5 people you spend the most amount of time with. So you really want to make sure that those people are people that support you and that lift you up and that give you lots of love, so that way, you're lifted up.
Yeah, absolutely. And also that that you have the power to really heal yourself, through the medical world, but also through your own self as well. So yeah, powerful beyond belief, actually.
Yes. Is there anything else that you would like to share with us today?
That life is great, can be great on the other side of everything. It really can. Like, I really feel that like I am living my best life because of all those daily habits and everything like that. And it's the sun there's light at the other end of the tunnel if you choose. And and I know it's a journey to get there sometimes, but that's probably about it, Dee. Yeah.
So well worth the journey.
It is. It definitely is. Yeah.
So I wanted to thank you for coming on today and to share your message and your journey and everything that has helped you to get to where you are now. And thank you for coming on today.
Thank you so much, Dee. It's been great being here, and we'll see you soon.
All right. Thanks, Ange. Bye.
Bye.